The federal government has got to stop poisoning the public by sending toxic, polluted Lake Okeechobee water to the estuary regions. That is a fundamental right of the American public not to be poisoned by our own government.
An algae crisis threatening our treasure coast.
A cycle of despair and disgust amidst promises made and broken.
Billions of gallons of water are rushing from Lake Okeechobee to our coastline.
How much pollution is too much? How much danger is too much? How much before this will stop?
Yeah, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is changing the Lake Okeechobee regulation schedule. It's now going to be known as the Lake Okeechobee System Operating Manual.
LOSM. That's the book that they follow that tells them how to keep the lake, what level during each time of year, when they release water, where they release water. And in the past, the schedule has favored agriculture at the expense of the communities on the coasts. And now they're re-looking at it.
And as they rewrite that, the expectation has to be that they not manage the lake counting on dumping toxic water into the estuaries. That can't be the solution to managing Lake Okeechobee, that you're going to destroy 3 other ecosystems, the east coast of Florida, the west coast of Florida, and the Florida Everglades.
The Corps, in coordination with the South Florida Water Management District, has got to send more lake water south to the Everglades and reduce the discharges to the coastal estuaries. Historically, they're sending only about 60 billion gallons a year south. By contrast, they're sending over 80 billion gallons a year to the St. Lucie estuary that prior to 1923 never received any Lake Okeechobee water. So they've completely screwed up the movement of water in the state of Florida.
Algal blooms on Lake Okeechobee have gotten so bad and so toxic that they've even showed up in the drinking water supply for the city of West Palm Beach, so bad to the point that you can't even boil it out of the water.
And do everything in your power to keep Lake's cyanotoxins from coming out my kitchen faucet.
Toxic water coming out of my faucet was my wake-up call. And we can't wait any longer to make changes to this broken system if we want clean water, which is a basic necessity that I can no longer take for granted.
A couple years ago, Congressman Brian Mast brought up the point, why don't we keep the lake lower in the winter? It's kept artificially high so that agriculture has as much water as it wants. And they fought it and said, well, we need to make sure we have our water. And he said, well, even if you kept it at the lowest point it's ever been, did agriculture still get its water? And they said, yes. So the Army Corps of Engineers did a little trial. They kept the lake low that winter. And lo and behold, we got no releases that summer.
We were very happy with 2019 and 2020 in terms of how the lake was managed by the Army Corps of Engineers. There was a desire and a plan to try to minimize harmful discharges over the summer months, which is obviously when we're at most risk to have algal blooms in our estuaries.
And so we need to see a new LOSM plan that takes everybody into account and thinks more about a more accurate water level that's going to be lower in the winter, so we don't have as much discharges, but still can feed the communities and supply everybody, as opposed to just allowing one user group, which is agriculture, to have everything, have all the benefits.
Getting it right involves what's called LOSM, the Lake Okeechobee System Operating Manual, a plan for releasing water, and the Army Corps is looking at 6 plans. And we'll pick one.
We clean our water up.
Alligator Ron Bergeron is on the board for South Florida Water Management.
My family's been here for 8 generations, and I love this state.
For him, the obvious choice is sending more water into the Everglades.
Water moving south is less water moving east and west in quantities greater than natural.
The clock is winding down for the Army Corps of Engineers to select a management plan for Lake Okeechobee. They're expected to make a selection by early August.
Governor DeSantis has been very clear that he wants to see Lake Okeechobee managed in a way that gets more water to the Everglades and keeps water out of our coastal estuaries where it doesn't belong. We want to see everybody's needs met as it comes to managing Lake Okeechobee, but we can't manage it in a way that destroys the St. Lucie, that destroys the Caloosahatchee, and destroys the Florida Everglades. And it's been great to have a partner in Governor DeSantis to accomplish this.
I credit Congressman Mast for really exposing the Corps, having them acknowledge that they are willfully and knowingly polluting and poisoning the people in the estuary regions.